Hi, my name is Claire and I'm a photographer, and the purpose of today's tutorial is to get you a little bit more acquainted with natural light and how to use and diffuse light to create beautiful images of your artwork by using just a smartphone. So today I'm going to be using my Google Pixel. That's the kind of phone that I have, and I'll just show you more tips and tricks about how to use light. Smartphones today have amazing photographic capabilities and technology, and I want to teach you how to utilize the sun and create beautiful photographs out of natural light situations. You can go a really far way with limited resources. It's not always about having the most expensive gear. It's just about knowing how to see light, read light, and manipulate light to get the effects that you want for your images. I wanted to first introduce you to my studio, my workspace. This is my living room. Whenever I get a photo assignment and I decide that I want to use my living room as my studio, I move everything out, my couch, my TV, all of my little creature comforts, and I bring in the studio and the product or the people that I'm going to photograph. I'm really lucky because I have these two amazing windows that are at an angle that let in natural light. My building at this point faces south, so I'm getting east to west light all day long. I suggest maybe in your apartment looking for spaces that have the most amount of light at certain times of day. Some windows in my apartment have more light in the morning and some windows have more light in the afternoon. So just try to find that sweet spot and use it when it works for you. When using sunlight to create photographs is that we need to diffuse that light. It's so bright, and there are lots of different ways that you can diffuse it. One thing that most people have is a white cotton sheet. So that's what this is, and you can fold it over a couple of times and it'll create a great diffusion. Another thing you could use is polyester chiffon. This is really affordable. You can get it at fabric stores, and it sometimes works a little bit better than the cotton sheet because it's not as thick. If you have a little bit of extra cash and you want to invest in some photo gear, I suggest getting one of these. It's a diffuser, and it folds down really nicely, so you can take it on the go anywhere, create any location in your studio. And when you open it up, just put it between your light source and your subject, and it'll create a beautiful natural light glow that's diffused, and it'll go a long way with your pictures. And one of my most favorite tools that I'm excited to tell you about today is white foam core. This is a great tool to use. One of the reasons it's so great is that it's super affordable, and it's usually at any art supply store in town. So go and buy a couple of sheets. I'm going to utilize it in a couple of different ways in this video, so you can tell that it's a tool that's worth the investment. White foam core is one of the best ways to create diffused, bounced, soft light, which we're going to utilize a lot when we photograph our objects. Right now, what I want to talk about is this amazing window, how much light is coming in, and I'm going to move my camera. I might get a little jerky, but check it out. Look at all that sunlight. Can you see all that sunlight? It is so bright. It's too bright to photograph a piece of art on. Thumbtacks. So I want to diffuse the window, and I'm going to use a white cotton sheet in the thumbtack. Already the sheet diffused the light, and it looks really great. I put a piece of white foam core down on the ground to create a nice backdrop. I put a sheet over the window to diffuse the light. I have another big piece of foam core right here that I'm going to balance on the opposite side of the window. So the window is going to be shining light through the cotton sheet, bounce off of the reflector back into the art object. And this is what's going to give a nice even light to the painting. Now you can see that I have the window with the cotton sheet on it. Without the sheet, look at how bright it is. We have a lot of hot spots right here. It's not even. With the sheet, it diffuses the light really nicely. And then I have this foam core that's creating a wall of light So what happens is the light comes through, it hits this, bounces back, and right now we're having even light on our painting. And I'm going to use my smartphone to focus and compose and then take the picture. So again, we have the white cotton in the window. Panning down, we see the painting on the floor with foam core behind it and a wall of foam core. So what you're gonna do now is just make sure that you have even space on the sides of your work and around the bottom and the side. But this you can always fix later in post-production, so don't get too upset or worried about it. And then we'll take a picture.